Welcome to another episode of Appalachia Fusion. Whenever you see this episode, this is going to be our Christmas special. I'm excited for this episode and going back to the latter day of our Appalachia heritage. You know, if we spoke many times in here, they used what was around them, what they could go out and kill, harvest. So some of the big dinners that we have the privilege of eating today, which is very, very good, may not have been the dinners they actually got to eat during Christmas and Thanksgiving and during the holidays of times back then. So what we have today is an oyster dressing. You might say, well, what does that have to do with Eastern Kentucky? Well, the first Appalachia settlers that come from Virginia, the Bay Area, that side, first come down here, you know, some of the first things they served was an actual oyster dressing. Could they bring that down here with them? No, they didn't, because, of course, you're in Eastern Kentucky, so it's going to be hard to get oysters. But I can imagine from time to time that maybe family members or whatever could have had time to bring that to them. So we're doing old-fashioned oyster dressing, and then I had the privilege of hunting Saturday morning, me and some buddies, and we killed some ducks. So I got slow smoked wood duck, and we'll go over that a little bit later. I got some detail on that. And some rattlesnake, they're called rattlesnake green beans, and they're super, super good, and homemade hominy. And we're going to do some potatoes that I got actually boiling on the stove right now. So we're doing a bash. We're going to eat good today. And hopefully it's bringing a new thought process into dinners that people serve today, because I love ham, turkey, and all that. But there are other options and stuff out there that we can use. So to get us started here, I got quite a bit of bacon in this pan, actually. I just want it to start cooking, browning up, because we're going to use bacon in about everything today. About everything we cook is going to have that bacon in it. So we got that rendering down, cooking. We're going to start the dressing first. If y'all can see it up here, got some good old country eggs. By the way, 90% of this stuff has been stuff that was brought up. Green beans, home canned hominy I made at the house. I actually cured this bacon. Ducks come from the water not too many days ago, and the country eggs. And the story behind this orange juice jelly that we're going to be using as a glaze and marmalade for the duck when it gets done is a lady in Florida sent this to me. She hand squeezed every orange out of the back of her yard, and she makes this. So this is very special to me. That's why it's going to such a nice dish today. So that's kind of the breakdown of our ingredients. We got just regular breadcrumbs. You can use leftover cornbread if you want to. I'm actually going to bring over some extra stock that we'll need to mix in with the oyster dressing. Turn the bacon down a little bit, get it frying up. So there are a couple of things we want to get going right off the bat. Green beans are going to take a while to cook, so we want to get our bacon kind of rendered out. And to that, in a minute, we're going to go ahead and get our onions fixed up here. I want to lay this, and we'll move our oysters back a little bit. I'm going to put our extra stock right here. And I'll just grab me another rag, wipe my hands with. So we're going to cut up an onion to put in our dressing. And if you don't want big chunks of onions and stuff like that, just cut them to your liking. Everybody likes something a little bit different. So however you like it, do it that way, and it'll be just fine. And most of these recipes, some of them's already on MTTV on recipes because we uploaded them earlier, like the oyster dressing and stuff. The rest of them will shortly be on there. So go to the website, MTTV, click on the food, go down to, after it comes up, go down, click on it. It'll take you over to a section that has later episodes, stuff that's on YouTube, and the recipes from not only my show, but my buddy David Bradley has a show. in the kitchen with David, and David cooks some of the best stuff ever was. So check that out. And I think there's some new episodes of some other people that's maybe had some stuff. Val and Holler, her show, and a few things like that. So, depending on how much celery and stuff you want cut up, I'm going to cut this in littler chunks. I don't mind for stuffing. Mine be coarse. My wife really don't mind for a lot of celery, so I'm making it either omit it or cut it in smaller pieces. I like all that in mine. I like to taste it. So you can see the bacon is frying up here. We just want to keep it turning, because we're going to put some of this, like I said, in a little bit of everything. So let's coarsely chop us up some celery. We'll probably put just a little bit of bacon in our dressing too, along with some bacon fat. Y'all don't oppose that, do you? I washed it, but let's cut that piece out of it. Okay, so you want a little more onion, we can put that in there too. So our bacon, what we actually want to do here, I don't want to cook it all the way through, because I'm going to use it in other dishes, but I do want to render it down just a little bit more. What I want to do now, I want to take the bacon out for a minute. I got some handy tongs right here just for the occasion. Just throw them on the front of your plate by your duck. A duck, and we'll go through that more, it's already went through a few processes to make it really good. And that's wood duck, and wood duck's usually really, really good. So, okay. Let's add our celery and onions, just cook them in this oil so it gives it a little more flavor in the dressing. Some people puts it in there raw, but I'm going to cook it and develop a little more flavor to it. I'm going to put some salt and pepper on it right here. A little bit of Cajun seasoning. A little more. Into that, I want to get just a little bit of this bacon, and I want to roughly chop it back into it. This is one of my own recipes, this oyster dressing. I kind of learned how to make it when I was living in Florida. That's where some of the fusion comes from. So, a couple of good family friends' recipes down there. I kind of married them together and made what I like about it. So, we want to put a little bacon in there. Okay, let's get our croutons here, and we want to use the liquor from the oysters, so we don't want to throw that away. Just take something and dump that in there, just like that. Okay, we're about to get it all out, get all that yumminess out. We got plenty of broth. Oops, lost my tongs. Get them in a minute. We got plenty of broth, chicken broth, to add to it in a minute. So we're going to dump all these oysters out. You might say it's a lot of oysters. It is, but we want it. It's an oyster dressing, so you want a lot of that flavor in there. But we want them in bigger pieces. Let me get them, put this like. Okay. So we're just going to go through here and rough chop. You can use fresh oysters. You can use oysters in a can. If you want to get some smoked oysters, get it. I mean, it's unlimited. So I think it's good enough. We're going to add a little more salt and pepper to these. I want everything flavored. I'm putting this dressing. So everything's we're not trying to build flavor at the end and everything. Okay. A little more Cajun seasoning on them. And I'm just going to put a little sage on my oysters. Okay, we'll put a little more in that in a minute. So I also want to dump these into my mixture. Just heat them back through a little bit. And I got an iron skillet in the oven. And I might end up having to use two, but there's not enough room in that one. So we'll rinse this off in a minute before we use it again. And I just want to lightly coat and mix all this together. That's our onions, our oysters, celery, and bacon. And bacon grease. All the bacon grease we had left. While that's heating up, let's grab our green bean pan. That's got a little water, little oil in there. I'm going to add 2 or 3 pieces of bacon. That leaves us enough for a hominy. Yeah. Okay. And this is our rattlesnake green beans. I'm going to dump them in there, just like so. Let's mix this together, and we're going to boil this down 2 or 3 different times. Salt's already added. We'll taste the salt as we go. That's pretty much green beans. You don't have to do a lot with the green beans. Just oil, water, and some bacon grease, and let them boil down. And taste the flavor at the end, and make sure that, you're good to go. Okay. Let's wipe this off a little bit. So when we put something on it, won't be so bad. Let's get our bowl on here. Slide this to the side. Wipe our station off a little bit. You don't want to cook this down a lot. You just want to heat it all the way back through everything in it. Just get it heated back through. This is what we're trying to do here. It smells really good. Because it's going to cook in the oven. So we want to add this to our mixture of breadcrumbs. Put it right in there. Get every bit of it out. All this yumminess right in there. Just like so. And we may end up having to use this pan again, so we'll just keep this on standby. If we got more than to fit in the other one, we'll make 2 batches of it. Let's throw our bacon back in there just so it'll be rendering on up. Like so. So, anyways. Now we're going to add more seasoning. We about need a bigger bowl, but I think we can make this work. We still got some eggs to add and some more stock to add. So our stock's warm. Let's go ahead and add 3 eggs to this mixture. Like I said, fresh country eggs. That was a little tough to crack. Okay. Then to that, we're going to add some of our chicken stock. Okay, let's see where it gets us at. We don't want it really wet, but you can see that's already starting to mix in our breadcrumbs and making them soft and starting to go down. I'm going to turn our skillet down a little more over here. So we had a great duck hunt Saturday, killed some woodies. Those that don't know, I like to hunt and fish a lot. We cook a lot of those meals in here with Appalachia Fusion. I grew up hunting and fishing, and if we can incorporate some pics, I got some cool pics of ducks when we killed them. I don't know if we can or not. Maybe show y'all at some point. Send them to Jonathan. And do that, so show you. But we had a great hunt. Bird season's been great. I've been able to hunt in several states already and killed several birds. We've had a good time with it. And so I just look forward to the rest of the season, and we got good things planned for next year too. So I know we're going to add more sage to it. Can't get enough sage in my opinion. I guess you can. I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but it looks super good. We want to have that texture and look to it when we get done. We don't want it to be mushed up and stuff like that. So I got an iron skillet that's been in the oven already for a while. I'm going to add a little more salt and pepper to it. Actually, got a fork here just to try the bread and out, see what the flavor's like. It's good. A little more salt and pepper. That'd be good. Maybe just a touch more sage. More Cajun. Okay, that'll be just fine right there. Okay, that looks great. So let me get our pan out real quick. I do have a little oil in there because I want to be like my cornbread. I want it crisp up when it touches. Put a little bit in there too. I like dressing have a little bit of crispy bottom. So of course we're not going to be able to fit all this in here. So we'll make 2 batches. This will be our first batch. Just go ahead and get it back in the oven. You can see it sizzling around the end of it. It looks really great. So let's get it back in there. Okay. Let's take our bacon out of here. We're going to use this pan right here that we already got heated up. Why not? Next, we're going to work on our hominy dish. Let's try a different method. So this pan's already been preheated the whole time because we've been cooking bacon and everything else in it. So we're going to put the rest of our dressing right in there. See, same sizzle, same everything. And it's about the same thickness, so they should be done pretty close at the same time. Well, it just looks pure goodness. Okay, pop that in the oven with your other one. Green beans are cooking, the potatoes look fine, dressing's in, and we're going to take a really quick break and we'll be right back.
You can have full control of your network with MRTC Total Command. This feature enhances your internet experience right at your fingertips. Worry less about online threats with included virus protection. Choose the sites your children visit and limit their screen time with parental control features. Manage smart devices at the touch of a button. You get all this for just $9.95. Plus, we will upgrade your router at no extra cost. Now that's Wi-Fi Advantage.
So hominy time. How many of y'all out there like hominy? I sure do. And last year was my first time making it homemade. It was one of the very biggest things that was always on my bucket list to be able to make my homemade cornmeal and hominy. So I got a chance to do that last year. And, hominy was it was a big ordeal back in the day when our ancestors growing up, because they had a lot of corn, made their own cornmeal, but hominy was a whole nother thing they really liked. And how homony's made, you get the full flavor and effect out of the corn, because what it does, you go through a process of either lye or hydraulic lime, a couple different ways. You take that shell off, soften it, cook it, and it puffs up like popcorn. And you get full ingredients out of it. So we got our skillet on over here, and I finished chopping up our bacon, like so. We're going to throw it back in there. It don't need to cook much more, so we need to keep an eye on that. I want a little onion in with the hominy, just for flavor. So we'll cut up some onion here. The reason why I'm making most of these today, because I thought of stuff back then in the day, say 1800s, 1850s, 18 whatever. What would our ancestors have laying around? Of course, you can say, well, they wouldn't have had oysters. Maybe not. That's my fusion twist on the dressing. But they would have had leftover cornbread and stuff to make dressing with. And they'd had hominy. They could have went out and killed ducks. They'd had green beans from the garden, most likely dried green beans, shucky beans, that's what you want to call them. So we're just getting this rendered a little bit here. We'll probably, let me reach down here and get me a touch of lard. You put me a little lard in there. They definitely would have had lard, I guarantee you that. Let's get a little bit more. Okay. I always keep lard and bacon grease on hand. That's two essentials in cooking. So we want to get this lard mixed in here really good. Onions are already turning translucent. Bacon's done, so I know we're good there. Lard's melted. Okay. Hominy ain't too much to it. It's already made. If you've already made it, you've already went through the long, hard process of cracking the hull, so they say, releasing it, and getting this beautiful hominy. I got two different kinds of hominy in here. I got a white hickory cane, then I got the Indian corn hominy. I'm mixing it together for a bigger flavor. And when we get this mixed together, we're just going to set it over, just let the flavors marry together on the stove. You can see it ain't completely all the way unthawed, but it won't take it a second and this right here to unthaw. You can top it off with some butter and a little bit. I'm actually going to put some of the chicken stock in it. I like chicken stock in this dish. Letting it cook down, letting it reduce down on the stove. So, when you cook chicken stock, make a big pot of it when you're cooking like this, and you can use it for several different things. A little salt and pepper. Like that. We're not going to put no Cajun seasoning or nothing there. I kind of just want, you don't want every dish you have to be bold and that. You want them kind of married together some. And while this is coming up to boil here in a minute, let's talk about these ducks. Okay. So we got 4 pretty wood ducks right here. You might say they look already cooked. They sure are. They're smoked. Throw them pieces of bacon in there. We don't want to waste that. So we killed these Saturday. So when I got them home, I immediately cleaned them really good. Plucked them. No big deal. Don't take that long with 4 ducks. Then there are a couple steps you go from there. You can freeze them. You can cut the breast out. But I don't like wasting animals I kill. I like trying to eat as much as I can of them. So that's why I'm leaving them a whole bird. I dry aged them. And you might want to know, why did you dry age them? Okay. let's consider a duck like a high trained athlete. They fly a lot, they got a lot of muscle blood mass, or the proper word for it, in their muscles. So all that's in their muscles where they fly and migrate a lot. So when you actually let them dry age, it releases all that back out of the meat, takes some of the wildness out of it, relaxes it, makes it tender, and it makes you a much better product. So these have been dry aged for a few days. And then after I dry aged them for a few days, last night, they was already dry, real good shape, so you didn't have to worry about taking a rag, wiping them off. I washed them again, patted them dry, washed the insides out again, patted them dry. And then I took maple syrup that buddy sent me from Michigan, and I brushed them all maple syrup. Before then, I actually sprinkled the inside of the cavity with salt. That's one of the recommendations. Then I brushed them maple syrup. I put like a kosher salt on them all the way around them, put them on a smoker for 3 hours at around 200 until the temperature of duck got to about 165. During that time, every hour, I would brush it with some maple syrup just for extra flavor. Today, what we're actually going to do, whenever the meal gets close to being done, we're going to actually deep fry these, and because they're already done, we're just going to deep fry them, crisp the skin up, and we're going to serve them whole just like they are. So it's going to be neat, and it should taste really good. So that's kind of a breakdown on duck. We got a few things going on. We're going to finish the hominy. As you can see right now, it's coming back up to a boil. We want to boil that stock down, build some flavor there. And, that's pretty much going to be the hominy dish. Not a whole lot to it. It's just hominy's hominy. You either like it or you don't. There ain't no really in between to that. This, I think, is a preferred method to me. I do like it cooked and buttered is another really good way, but it's kind of plain. And the ducks will be cooked. We're boiling the potatoes. Potatoes are going to be simple. We'll bring them out in a minute, and I'll show you what we're going to do with those. So we're getting really close here. We're going to do something special with the potatoes, but right now we're going to make the sauce for the duck real quick here. So like I said, this is very special orange jelly. And I'm not going to use it all. Really, yeah, let's just use it all. You'll take it all by the time everybody eats. Let me see if this... So we're going to dump that down in there like so. And this old lady, man, she is something else. She'll squeeze those oranges and take her time in this, hand do it all, and it's just amazing. Just about a 1/4 teaspoon of rice wine vinegar. Not much. We're going to put just a little bit of soy sauce. Very little. Just a dash. Okay. And I want to tie our oyster dressing with this oyster flavored sauce. This is a Chinese condiment you can get in your aisle, Oriental aisle. And I'm going to mix just a little bit of it and tie it together with our dressing. Should be plenty. Okay. That takes care of that. We want to whisk this together. Get our spoon out there, just lay there. We want to get that up to boiling in a minute. And, yeah, it's thick enough. It's kind of, you can, if you need to, you can add a little more rice wine vinegar or a little bit of water, not much. So we're going to do something with the potatoes here. Just bear with me just a second. You dump some water out. There wasn't much water in it. Get our smasher here. Pretty simple here. We're going to rustic look. Hand smasher. We're not going to make it like the creamy potatoes that Grandma makes, which are yummy. We're going to do a little more rough type tomatoes. A little sour cream. Just a little bit. A little salt and pepper. We got some herbs over here, an herb pack that actually come with our new potatoes. And it's just rosemary, oregano, stuff like that. We'll put them in with it. Gonna smash all this together. I love making smashed potatoes like this, with the peeling and everything on it, rustic looking. Wouldn't hurt to add a little more sour cream to it. This should be plenty. We're getting ready to finish up here. We're going to deep fry those ducks right now in a minute. Dressing looked almost done. The green beans are done. Homony's done. Potatoes are right now done. We're going to put these over on the stove just to keep them creamy and looking good. Keep them warm, I meant. So, let's put them, just set them over there by the heat and they'll stay warm. You won't have to worry about it. We can throw our little pan on top of it. Our green beans are looking really good. We'll give them one more quick stir. Check on our hominy here. Let it cook down a little bit. I just checked the dressing. Okay. We don't have to have this sauce super hot. We just want it kind of like married together. Really, I just need to see if it flavors together. And the sauce is warmed up, it'll be fine. Oh wow, that's good. That's fine. Set it over by the stove, leave it alone. We can heat it up real quick if we want to on the end. So I am actually going to do away with this. Set it right there. I need to bring our cooking oil over there. Be very careful with this. I've had this preheated so you wouldn't have to wait. Da-da. Get a seasoning pack out of here. Actually, let's turn this around to where the cord is on that side of it. So like I said, the duck's already done. We just want to heat them back up and crisp the skin. I'll show you a couple of tricks today right now. Okay. So let's bring these back over here. You can do this a couple different ways. You can trim the backbone out of them, which is probably the best method. Take all that out. You ain't gonna eat that no way. Save that for some yummy stock, so you know you should get rid of it. So you can save that. Spatchcock it like you would, just like that. So that's what we'll do with them. Let's cut these out. Just take the backbone completely out of them. They'll fry a little better too. Same way all three of them, real quick, just cut the backbone. And you don't want these cooked for a really long time because they'll weigh. They're already duck's a funny animal. And why I say that is because most time you want to eat it medium rare. It's just better. But slow roasted and done like this sometimes is super, super good. Duck's got a different flavor. It ain't nothing like chicken, so don't let no one ever say duck tastes like chicken, because duck don't taste nothing like chicken. It's just different. So save your backbones and all that. Like I said, these things are done, so let's clean a couple of things out the inside. Shouldn't have done that all the way that way. So what we're going to do now, wipe our hands. Let's get our duck platter ready. Actually, let's just use what we got here, because let's set these over here. We'll just put them right back on here for a time being. Then we'll plate them up here in a minute. So we want to put these, and they're a little cool, put these down in here just like so. We're going to flip them in a minute. Our goal is to do nothing but heat them up and crisp them up is what our goal is. While these are frying, I think if y'all can bear with me while I'm walking back and forth, let's put this to the side and let's kindly start bringing out some of our dishes. Because we want to serve the duck hot as possible. That's what we want to do. That's the goal. Oh, the dress is looking good. We'll bring it up last. So we'll let it cook for a minute, and then we're going to flip it over. Find what I want to use here. Go ahead and put this other one in here. I think there's room right there for it. Turn this back up. Now we want to get this side crispy, the skin side. That's our goal. You want crispy skin is what we want. So we're just going to let them sit there and fry. Yes, I left the feet on it because I thought it was cool to look at it. Plus, it just does better. Don't let the juices drain out the legs. So we're deep frying us some duck right now. And I did put Cajun seasoning on it right before that I put it in a deep fryer. So we're actually going to show y'all how this is going to come together. Let's get our dressing board right here, put our hot skillets on. We'll come over here and slowly start plating some of this up. We get me another scooper or two out. So we'll put our hominy in one dish, just like so. And everybody may not like every dish. This is just some authentic Appalachia stuff I was wanting to try and make and kick it up just a little bit. So, hominy is not for everybody by no means. So, that's all right. Okay. Green beans are good and done. And I love a brown bean. These are as brown as you can get. They're rattlesnake bean. They're real good flavor. Bigger than a greasy grit, so it ain't hardly near as bad when you start flavoring them up. Okay. Still got plenty of those left. Let's get our taters in our pan. Duck's about ready to come off. Oh, those smell so good. Looks good too, everything does. We'll put our sauce on the front burner here real quick, just so it heats up. Dressing looks really, really good. I'm gonna bring both pans of that out. Now, all we got left is the duck. See how it's looking. It's about there, guys. I'm gonna put our birds out just like that. I'm on the wrong angle for this. We'll get it here. We'll get real creative, just throw one in the center of the pan. Okay. So, actually, I'm going to put that one on the bottom. And we can actually just put it back in there, crease the bottom up a little bit more if we want to. And if you can do all this and keep your duck to a medium-ish, it's awesome if you can do it that way. That's the big key. Let me get one more serving spoon out. Yeah, duck looks excellent. It's good. That was a little bigger. I'm letting it fry a little longer. Let me get our other little cutting board out down here. So let's carve up one of our ducks. We'll serve this meal. I'm going to cut it right down the center so each person gets like a half of a duck, is what I'd like to do. And that's still cooked really good. I mean, it's about medium. That's about what you would want. So, let me get our other spoon out for dressing. Our sauce is done. We'll just set it right here to the side real quick. Put it actually here by the duck for a minute. So if I was serving this, I'd put me a big scoop of my dressing right in the center. And it's good and moist like it ought to be. This kind of dressing, you want it moist. Okay. I'd lay my duck just like that. I'd do me some hominy. Do me a scoop of green beans or two. Do my potatoes on the side. Do me a scoop of them, where you can see everything. And very lightly drizzle just a little bit of sauce right on top, like so. Guys, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining in on this episode of Appalachia Fusion. Roasted wild wood duck. home canned green beans, potatoes, hominy, dressing, and I mean, this is a meal fit for a king. Hopefully you'll get to see this during Christmas break and join in on this, and it's something that you may like or enjoy down the road. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good day.